What's going on, my crew? This is Rusty, and welcome to another episode of Rusty Discovers. In today's episode, I am pleased to let you guys know that I have been doing a lot of organization, not in-game, outside of the game, and I've got a pretty good idea of how I want to do at least the next, 20 episodes. So I'm very excited to get started, because I want this to be more like a guide, and less like a, less, oh nice, these light themselves. I want this to be more like a guide and less like a sort of traditional Let's Play that I would play usually. This kind of makes this look a little bit creepy. And then we've got crude bandages. I don't know what these do. Oh, I guess they literally heal us. So today, what I wanted to work on is I wanted to work on getting this right here, the furnace, which is super easy to get. But it's going to allow us to get some other things going. Really what we're going to work on here today is actually going to be getting a garden going. In this game, we have Pam's Harvest Craft and all sorts of stuff, but what we don't have is any sort of garden to go by. So, do we have a map? We do. I wonder why we don't have an overlay up. But more importantly, we've got a water source right here that we can build a garden by until we get ourselves a bucket. So we don't need anything big. And another thing we really need to work on is getting a storage system going of some sort. Which, thankfully, pretty early on in the game, we have the ability... Can that guy actually shoot that bow? No, he's just holding a bow. So we're just going to make ourselves a bunch of these crops, and that should get us going. The thing is that this has spice of life in it, which means that we actually need to have a pretty large variety of foods, which go well beyond, obviously, just making sure that we just eat different vegetables and different stuff. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to make a pretty big variety garden, and leave it at that. So we're going to go ahead and head to bed now before we get attacked by all sorts of zombies and monsters. So we went ahead and created our garden. What we need to do now is really look for some way to get string. That's going to be a huge thing that we're going to have to fight around with in later on in the pack. In the not too distant future, actually. So I really want to focus on trying to get that taken care of early, if we can. So we got a couple bits of string there, but I'm sort of wondering where that's coming from. Oh, right. Forgot. We actually get an egg out of this. Alright, so specifically what we really need is hemp seeds. Now, getting hemp seeds... Oh, that actually shows you the quest? It's pretty cool. Usually acquired by breaking regular grass, not glass. The other way is if we look at string in general, we can make it out of hemp, which is probably what we're going to do. But then there's this industrial hemp here, which I want to check out the difference between the two. Yeah, so industrial hemp seeds. Did they get rid of it? I think they got rid of it. hemp crate. Really? Wow. I don't know if that's a real thing. So what we need to do is we need to create an additional garden, is sort of what I'm saying here. Out of hemp. So 4 hemp seeds should be pretty good to get us started if we're going to start now. If we're going to start later, that wouldn't be such a good idea, because we're going to have to deal with quite a bit of trying to build up a pretty big... Oh, nice. Trying to build a pretty big hemp farm out of nothing. So that takes care of that. We'll be able to do some bigger things, because what we want to do is we want to get started on these things. So the traps, those will actually give us the ability to catch meat. But I wanted to show you guys this here and read this off to you. This pack has a slightly challenging hunger mechanics provided by Spice of Life mod. The mod that encourages dietary variety through diminishing returns makes it so that eating the same thing over and over will give you fewer and fewer hunger restored each time. So you need to cook different foods and consume it. Approximately 5 different food, almost always enough. It depends. So these ground traps, green bait, veggie bait, and ground bait, those should give us different foods. And then, yeah, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. We've also got some backpacks and stuff. But let's get to the main thing here. Which, by the way, okay, these things are growing really fast. Usually, oh, come on. Really? Alright, so it looks like we're going to have to get ourselves a way to get down here. Now, usually, when you have all these different mods in the pack, these actually take a while to grow. So I'm actually really surprised at how fast they're growing. But you see that growth meter over there. That's going to be your best friend. And then when it gets to a certain point, all you have to do is right-click, and it should replant what's already there and give you whatever is in excess. And that's sort of where we want to go from that point. So let's head back down to our base. I want to place down our chests. So off camera, I can do a little bit of organization. We'll just go ahead and put a double here. And a single here. Yeah, so is that in that conglomerate chest that I have up here? I think our cobblestone is. Yep. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that now. Boom. Done. Cool fun fact. Never mind. It's not in this pack. Usually with Tinker's Construct, you can get a half height furnace, which is pretty useful. Okay, so now that we got that taken care of, I also want to see if we can make a door easily. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and place this door right here. And now I think we're good to go. So, here's the track. Off camera, what I'm going to do is I really want to focus on getting ourselves pretty established with some food. Got to collect this. Get all sorts of fun goodies. And then we're going to get started next episode on porcelain. So we've got a couple pieces of clay out there, but we really need to get a bone production thing started. So I want to see if, off camera, if I can find a cave down here, because I'd really like to see if we can find some sort of skeleton, ideally a skeleton, what do you call it, spawner, but if not, then some sort of skeleton spawning area that we can get a pretty decent amount of bone. But bone blocks do exist, and they're Minecraft based. So theoretically, if we go adventuring, we might be able to find a pretty decent amount of bones that we can set aside for our porcelain manufacturing. And theoretically, they should be found somewhere in the desert, but more along the side of probably going to be able to more find them in the nether, which we're not ready for yet. So that'll all be in the next episode. Very excited to get started on that. But that's going to do it for today's episode, you guys. Maybe a bit of a short one, but we got a lot done, and we got all sorts of cool fuel to give us some ideas of where to get started on the next one, on the next fuel. But there's a lot to get to in this pack, and I'm happy to say that I should be able to start producing episodes a lot more frequently. So I think we're well on our way to some fun stuff. But until next time, guys, happy mining and crafting.